Welcome back, nerds. Today we are trying a new resin. It's called Res, which is either lazy or brilliant, or both.
Chef Candy!
Before we can get started, though, we have to do boring stuff, like clean the vat and calibrate our printer to this new resin. After draining and cleaning the vat with some alcohol, Chris is going to pour this whole bottle back into the reinstalled vat. Now, Chris uses Anycubic printers, and this video will detail exposure settings for the Photon Mono M7 Max. The first thing we need to do is print the Resin Exposure Rangefinder, or RERF or RERF. That acronym needs work. This file simultaneously prints 8 of the same calibration model. Each one has a half-second longer exposure time than the previous one. Since they're conveniently numbered, Chris prefers to clean and review these while they're still on the build plate. This is how dummies prevent them from getting mixed up. Once clean, find the ones with the worst print imperfections. Those can be disqualified, leaving you with a few strong contenders. Remove those from the build plate. Any that crack or shatter are overexposed. You can place those on Glenn's porch. You should be left with 1 or 2 to choose from. Chris typically goes with the one with the shortest exposure time. In this case, 3.2 seconds is the sweet spot. Now simply create a new resin profile in Photon Studio, add the 3.2 exposure time, then you can safely forget everything you just learned. It's worth noting that the only other setting Chris ever fucks around with is the anti-aliasing. He typically sets this to 4. I asked him why, but his answer was boring, so I forgot it. This last step is important, though. Because the RERF is designed to produce failures, you should always do a full-screen exposure to remove the errant debris from your FEP. If you hold an old support against the corner in the vat while it's getting exposed, removal will be much easier. So the boys over at Res hook you up with this free model to print. It's like that lame little boat, except not lame. It's actually pretty badass, and as far as we know, no other resin company gives you anything dope to print, so that's pretty cool. Chris decided to print it in 2 sizes, because, well, they give you 2 sizes. Looks kinda like one of those Warcraft monster people. And they inexplicably didn't name it. We went ahead and did that for them. Please say hello to Lemangelo Skull-Crotchington III. Now, using this sweet res, we have printed Mystique. Yes, she has red hair, and you're right, that shit's becoming a weird trend. But did you know? She's also a blue lady from a moon called Pandora, and she's married to Jake Sully. See, she's more than just red hair, you know. Okay, Chris is gonna wrap up the priming, and I'm gonna do some more product placement. So today is a special day. Gaahleri has sent us a couple more airbrushes to test out. Look how fancy. For this doll, we will be using the Seeker, for it has just released, and Gaahleri has provided some discount codes for both our viewers. The links are down there. You know where you put links. All right, let's paint. Starting with dark gray, we're gonna base all her clothes, which isn't much, mostly boots and gloves. Even though this is airbrush paint, it's always a good idea to dilute it. Chris is gonna completely cover all the clothing parts. Since her clothes are light gray, this will be the darkest value. Meaning, we don't want any black primer visible after this step. Well, if that's the case, Chris, then why didn't you just use gray primer? Great question, nerds. He didn't have any, so shut up. This isn't a how to do it channel. This is a how he did it channel. Now with Stone Grey, we're gonna simultaneously paint the midtone and the highlight. First, Chris is gonna heavily dilute this, then lightly cover everything that isn't a downward-facing surface, before finally going heavy on all the upward-facing surfaces. This profane technique was pioneered by Howie Skip the Midtone Dewitt.
This is how we do it.
He was immediately executed when it was deemed heresy by the Toledo Painters Guild, which is why it's so imperative that you join our Patreon. Only with your help can we prevent the tragic loss of such brave trailblazers such as Howie. You could be counted amongst our legion of brave, handsome genius warriors who have already pledged their undying loyalty in support of our righteous cause, the complete and utter destruction of the Toledo Painters Guild. In honor of Howie Dewitt and the countless others, make your voice heard. Follow that link. See it? It's right there. It couldn't be any easier to make a difference in the world.
Stop being a bitch and come on!
Now with this Nocturna burnt flesh, Chris is gonna paint the hair. Then moments later he will realize that was not the color he meant to paint it.
Oh! Now you fucked up! You have fucked up now!
So he will load his airbrush with the gory red he meant to use and try again. Perfect. Now let's paint Mystique's skin. She's a blue lady, so naturally we're gonna start with a very dark purple. Chris is gonna use this hexed lichen and mix it 3-to-1 with this warlord purple, conjuring a completely unique color he has taken to calling fart water. As with all blue ladies, there's got to be some subdermal purple undertones, so just cover all the parts that are going to be blue. This will add a little tonal variety to the model, so it's not just a monochromatic blue gradient. We're going for this, not this. Yuck. Now while that dries, Chris is gonna apply a pretty heavy wet coat of gloss to her clothing. Having different surface finishes between her skin and her clothes is just free detail, and only someone like Glenn wouldn't take advantage of that. All right, back to the skin. Chris is starting with magic blue, and he's gonna dilute its brains out and build it up slowly, so the fart water he painted on earlier is preserved. The dilution is really important here. You want it nearly transparent to maintain those purple undertones. It's similar to the clothing. Just lightly mist the whole body, then slowly build it up heavier on the upward-facing surfaces until the saturation is pleasing to you. Then we can apply the highlights using this 10-year-old bottle of electric blue. Again, dilute it, then focus primarily on the upward-facing surfaces. The more you dilute your skin tones, even if the skin is blue, the more control you'll have. Even though it's a Class 2 heresy, Chris has been known to thin his paint beyond the Toledo Painters Guild sanctioned limits. He then simply paints from farther away to produce broad color blends and to prevent spidering. Now let's antagonize the guild further by bringing out our best friend, Silly Putty. The most silliest of all the putties, and despite Chris's reverence for this polymeric miracle, the cowards over at Crayola have still not sponsored this channel, so if either of my subscribers happen to know anybody at Crayola Corporate, let them know we can protect them. They no longer need to fear the Toledo Painters Guild. Anyway, Chris is just pressing this up to the edges of the areas he wants to mask. Just use a toothpick to make fine adjustments. Spend some time here, get it precise, it'll save you time later. Or so I've been told. Now that those are properly masked, we can move on to painting the accent on Mystique's top. Using dark grey, Chris is going to lightly cover the exposed areas before moving on to her growler curtain. For this, we need to completely cover the blue. It needs to be fully opaque to match the value of the rest of her clothing. We will do the same to her backside dumper curtain as well, before moving on to applying the highlight. With the same stone grey used to highlight the boots and gloves and such, paint from the top down until its value harmonizes with all the other clothing. Now let's remove the putty. Behold its true power. Bear witness as it peels away cleanly and easily. Hear me, nerds. It can inexplicably be reused again and again, for it appears to absorb the life force of the paint itself, growing stronger with each and every use. Perhaps the guild is right to fear this dark magic, for who knows what it shall become after such prolonged feeding upon the pure life energy of so much paint. It appears we're going to dry brush some highlights onto the hair now. Notice Chris is using airbrush paint. That's because he's a moron, or is out of the correct red. Both those things are probably true. If you would like good results, you should use a thicker paint and simply brush perpendicular to the flow of the hair with an almost totally dry brush. Moving on to the base, Chris is first going to cover it with this gunmetal blue. Then he will proceed to paint the other metal parts with this Kaleido gunmetal. Gaahleri makes these too. There's discount codes in the description. While you're down there, you could like and subscribe too. No pressure.
Stop being a bitch and come on.
All right. While that shit dries, let's start on the face. Get ready, nerds. With a little black, we're gonna paint the eyes. Chris is gonna fill in the whole eyeball, the eyelashes, and what would be considered eyeliner. Then with good old gory red, he's gonna paint the lips and eyebrows. The lips are gonna take a couple coats. Reorient your model as needed, so you're aware of the location of the edges as you paint. You don't want this, you want this. For the eyebrows, don't just slop a line across. Sort of paint them in the direction they naturally grow, upward and outward. Trust me. Now let's paint the scleras with some deck tan. Try to keep the thin black eyeliner along the edges of the lids, but otherwise cover the whole damn eyeball. Perfect. So Mystique's eyeballs are actually Imperial Fist yellow. Betcha didn't know that. So just cover the whole damn eyeball again, but this time with Imperial Fist yellow. Just magnificent. Now to add a little more depth to these eyes, Chris is gonna outline them with some Blood Angels red, before finally giving the lips and eyes a clear gloss coat. All that's left are the final details, starting with weathering the base with this unpronounceable oil paint. Just thin whatever this is called with spirits or thinner and just slop it on. Once it dries, you can wipe off any unsightly areas with a Q-tip dipped in the same solvent. You definitely want it in all the little interstices for the added contrast between parts. Now with plain old black, Chris is just gonna paint the belt. There's nothing worth noting here, just get complete coverage. Then it's just a matter of applying a few coats of this brassy brass, which they should have called coppery copper on account of it looking exactly like copper. Apply this brassy brass to all the little skulls and wires and any other part you think should look like copper. Now, switching back to the black, we need to base the gun and the knife. They must be properly prepared and ready to accept the second most heretical product known to the Kaleido Painters Guild. Its true name must never be uttered, but they know it as the demon paste. Typically, Chris would simply use his fingers to apply it, but for something this small, the preferred approach is adding an imperceptible amount to a Q-tip and applying it as though you were dry brushing it on. If you're in a hurry, just use paint. This ointment of damnation takes about a day to cure. Now let's wrap up the last few details Chris actually remembered to record. With the dark grey we used for the clothing, he's gonna paint the edges of her bundled up growler curtains. Then we will paint the X. And since it's supposed to be a red X, we're gonna start with deck tan. By all means, start with red. Give me a call in 3 months when you're done and tell me how it went. Now the outline he painted on the growler curtain a moment ago allowed Chris to get away with doing this half-ass masking job he forgot to record. All that's left is to base it with the same dark grey he used for the outline. Then hit all the upward-facing surfaces with the stone grey we used for all the clothing highlights. Then hit it with a quick gloss clear and the base is done. All right, nerds, we're about wrapped up here. Gaahleri Seeker Airbrush has performed surprisingly well for something so inexpensive. Chris is going to use it on a few more models to see how it holds up. If you're curious, there's a discount code below. That code is good for any of Gaahlerie's products and paints. So go nuts. As for the resin, well, it's resin, and it's made by friends of the channel who make many of the models that Chris paints. So do that whole support the community crap. They even started a promotion giving you access to any model of your choice when you purchase 2 bottles, so give it a shot. All right, guys, I think it's done. Behold.
Shelf candy! Come on.
Who is this guy? Why is he doing this? Please make him stop. No one asked for this. He's not listening. Why won't he stop? He doesn't listen. He just keeps painting. Shelf candy! Come on, shelf candy! Come on. Who is this guy? Why is he doing this? Please make him stop. Come on. No one asked for this. He's not listening. Why won't he stop? He doesn't listen.
All right, I'm gonna go now.
He just keeps painting.
Subscribe. Fuckers!